is up, my dudes? James here, living life from dusk till dawn, as always. And we're starting the new, I don't know, saga? It's not a saga, it's an individual episode or video. But we're continuing the saga. There we go. And that saga would be the one of the cooling problems with Blue, my 2012 Mazdaspeed 3 that I just got into. So for those of you that have been following along on the channel, you'll know that I moved my intercooler from the top to the bottom, or to the front, and then started having some not overheating issues, but definitely getting hot issues. So I took preemptive action and I got a new radiator, which is awesome. I got a C.A.D radiator, OEM Plus swap, and it's working very good, but it's not perfect. And so the next thing that I'm going to do, that I have the ability to do and the money to do, is install air ducting in the front bumper that will direct airflow to the radiator. It'll block the air from being able to go around the AC condenser and the radiator and then just blow through the engine bay, and instead directs it to the radiator so we get more airflow. So I'm going to do that today. It's going to be a lot of fabrication. Kind of. I'm going to use some cardboard, do some CAD work, cardboard aided design. I'm going to get the bumper off and then use that cardboard to kind of mock up what I want it to look like, where the bolt holes are going to end up being, all that sort of stuff. And then we will tape the cardboard in place, test fit with the bumper on. So long as it all looks good, then I'm going to transfer that onto a sheet of metal, cut it out, clean it up, paint it. And then I have some like gasketing material I can run along the outside of the metal edge so it stays protected and doesn't like cut the plastic or anything in the bumper. And then from there we'll have some ducting. Here we are in front of the car, obviously. I'll turn you a little bit more this way. And the idea is all of this open space here, you can't really see that, but here as well, imagine the bumper is going here. All of this air gap is places that air can go around everything and bypass the radiator. So there is still some gaps between the AC condenser and the core support, or I guess you'd call this the core support. So there's not a whole lot that I can really do about that unless I really go crazy with this design. I don't really intend to do that. What I do want to do is help a little bit with that problem. So if I make a little plate that basically sits behind the crash bar and touches the core support here, and then we'll have a cutout tab that will bolt into these two bolts here. We'll have another slit so it can slide over the bottom part of the crash bar support, and then I'm gonna have to cut out a little C shape so that it can fit around the intercooler piping. And so basically it's gonna create like that, kind of a cone, so to speak, that will direct all of the air inwards towards the radiator, and also, of course, the AC condenser. Finished transferring all of the templates over to my steel. This is 1/8 inch steel. Probably should use aluminum because it'll be lighter and it won't rust, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. In case you're wondering, this entire process has taken me give or take 3 hours already so far, and that's just to get the templates going and then draw them onto the steel, and that's the easy part. So they are in, and we're gonna go get the car nice and toasty warm and see if they actually work. The passenger side came out really good, and it's very, I don't know, tight, I guess. Once again, could be better, but this is like my introduction to fabrication of anything. That was actually the first metal part I've ever made from scratch. So yeah, but I have some of this gasket material from a previous project, and I'm gonna run it along the inner edge, basically, so that, and then I'll probably do it over here too, just to make sure that if the intercooler piping does bump against it, like it's not sharp, but it's, I don't know, just want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, just to protect things, I'm going to put this along the edge, and then we will work on getting it all the way in. Hey guys, James here, living life from dusk till dawn, and I am at the desk again. Obviously, my voice is not in sync with my face right now because it turns out that my microphone did not record for the entirety of the time that I was sitting here talking through this discussion. So, let's get down to the facts. So I have these two graphs here. The one on the left is showing you exactly what the engine was doing before I installed the air ducting in terms of temperature, and then on the right is what happened after I installed the air ducting. Now, the drive was the same, but as you can see by the mass airflow, which would be an indication of whether or not I was moving or accelerating, that kind of thing, there was 2 extra red light stops in the left one than there was on the right. So I just got lucky that on the right I didn't have to stop. So I ended up going to the very end of this data to the last peak of coolant temperature hitting right around that 200 or that 199, and then calculating how long it took to drop temperature from that 199 all the way down to 180. And for the pre-check or the pre-install, 80 degrees was as low as it got because I wasn't able to drive long enough at a consistent speed for temperature to get anywhere below that. However, with the post-install, I was able to drive a little bit longer, so we will see, or you can see, that engine temperature got down into the 170s, right around 174, 172, which is right around the lowest. So, calculating the values by pulling up the data, I went through and found exactly how many seconds we were sitting at for the data to be able to show what temperature the coolant was at. And then once we hit that 180 and then coasted at that 180, either to idle for the case of the pre-install data or until the next time that the temperature ticked down. For the pre-air ducting install, it took about 3.5 minutes, 3.43 seconds for temperature to drop from 199 all the way down to 180. And then the post-install, it took 2.3 minutes for the engine to get from 199 all the way down to 180 degrees right before it ticked down to the next degree cooler. So, if anything, the post-install data is even showing a little bit longer of a period of time than is technically allowed for the pre-install. I don't really know how to say that, but either way, the data very clearly indicates that the air ducting is indeed improving the efficiency of the cooling system of the car by directing that air towards the radiator instead of it going around the radiator and around the intercooler and into the tire wells and the rest of the engine bay. So they work, which is fantastic. I'm really happy with it. This install took way longer than I thought it was going to, but that's totally okay. It was my first time fabricating anything out of metal. I ended up cutting most of that footage because I figured you guys probably don't care too much to just watch me sitting there with an angle grinder and a cutoff wheel and all that sort of stuff. But if you guys have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. I love answering your questions, and I will do my best to answer them. And if you wanted to see more detail of like how I use that weird metal bender thing, then I can absolutely post a longer video or maybe an individual video specific to that. So let me know in the comments. But with that, I hope you've enjoyed, and I cannot wait until the next upgrade video. Also, Happy New Year, because it's almost that time. By the time this video comes out, it will be the new year. And yeah, 2026, here we go. Big things coming. Hope to see you then. Don't forget to live from dusk till dawn, my dudes.